my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle production since 1998. That's 23 years. Running an S corporation, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box. The Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey, my aqua lungs, my aquariums. Let's talk about your life purpose in 3 levels of power. This is a 12-card spread, 3 level of power reading. There's a link in the description box by Carolyn Myss, M-Y-S-S, PhD, by the way, about the 3 levels of power, a set of archetypal lenses. You can look at many different aspects of your life, the chakras, intuition, all that, but we're looking at your life purpose in terms of work, career, vocation. 3 levels of power: eau de toilette, cologne, perfume, reason, season, lifetime. I think you get where we're going there, right? Hot, mild, medium, and hot, right? In terms of your sauces, right? Perhaps your Taco Bell packets. So that being said, it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because I am pretty sure, because I watch my own doing these. I keep an eye on my own reads, particularly for work, career, vocation. Your sun sign's going to get different info and different leverage than your moon, your rising, or your Venus sign. Like your sun sign could be, the leverage could be in the 1st level of power work, right? Moon could be certainly in the 2nd level of power, right? Your career, what lights you up, your passion, your hunger, your thirst. And your vocation can certainly be very much about your Venus sign, what you love, right? Your relationship with the divine in your vocation, your calling. So that being said, if you'd like to book me for a private reading, I do these all the time for clients. There's a link in the description box to a YouTube video called Booking a Reading with Mal. It's fun. I watched it again yesterday, did it back in July at the time of this recording, and makes me laugh and really puts all the information in there. So when people say, how do I book a reading with you? Here, watch this. It's all in there. So what else is that about it? Oh, right. All the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box. I give good description box as a Virgo sun sign. Both feet on the floor. If you can, focus on your breath, if you will. Anything else I might have forgotten, I'm sure will fly out of my mouth. It's been a busy, mystical morning, so let's get up in this gig. Ready? I'll call it out as we go. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, let's tune to the divine here. Now it feels nice. Okay. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, vocation, and their own higher selves, as well as the higher selves of all involved, for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video. Receiving this reading, please, 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards to show us the 8th chakra dynamics going on in their work, career, and vocation, as though there were 3 different siblings related to each other. One for their work, one for their career, one for their vocation in their work, in their career, and in their vocation, really their spiritual calling. So yeah, your work is how you survive in the world, though not everybody gets paid in their work in the world. I mean, I kind of do, but I'm a corporate president. I don't get paid for that. I pay myself. S corporation, right? You gotta figure, in 98, it was a long time ago, LLCs didn't exist, right? I don't get paid for that. I get paid for my career, doing this stuff, doing reading, spiritual teaching, private clients, spiritual counseling, all of that. My vocation is as a mystic, though, right? So it's about bringing these into alignment. So let's see who you are in this. Wow. It's a very masculine energy read. You've got the God. Oh, I almost like choked on my saliva on this one. It shook me a little. The God archetype, a masculine family archetype. The Advocate, this is in your work, in your career. The Advocate, an action family archetype. And the Avenger in your vocation also an action family archetype. Now, there is a difference between the masculine family of archetypes and the action family. Certainly, the masculine family would talk more about yang energy, but that is a very, very specific flavor. The god archetype, the goddess archetype is in the feminine family. But we will talk about these. There is a movement to put things into action here, to externalize. So if you are, for example, an artist or an activist, this could be right up your angle. So you can read this as you are the God Advocate Avenger or the Avenger Advocate God. Either way, and I have to say, having this in your first level of power is pretty intense. Now there's shadow to light. These are the lessons that you are learning. The stuff in your... Well, read Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss. These are the things you are learning in your work right now, the alchemy, the healing, that the electromagnetics of your work life is setting you up to learn. The shadow attributes. Despotism and cruelty, using power to control people, particularly how you look, right? It is that masculine thing, like how many men, and I just got to say men, but really it's not a gendered card, it's an energy, it's a dynamic, right? Somebody who has that sort of like godly presence, right? Just to look at them like, oh my God, right? Like that's what they evoke. So, be careful of that. Make sure you're just not using your power to control people, particularly if you are considered physically attractive in the world. The light attribute, though, wait till you hear this. This is so Aquarian. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Come on, this is enlightenment. This is being beneficent. This is being a divine being in human form. But keep in mind, recognizing the eternal force within life, within yourself and others, seeing that we are all one. Very much a fifth dimensional gold here, but not, easier said than done. You can do the affirmations and the mantras, but in the work area, survival, we'll see. In your career, the advocate, the shadow attribute, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Oh no, that's never happened on planet Earth except every day since Jump. The light attribute inspires you to put compassion into action. So already we sort of have this benevolence and compassion double whammy here. The word compassion literally on both cards. So to me, I'm not an advocate, I'm a teacher. It's a different vibe. But to speak for those who are not being heard, or to speak for those who do not have voices, like animal advocates, and all that kind of stuff. Although the rescuer, animal rescue, is a different archetype. Very, very powerful here. Like I said, very Aquarian. I have a lot of Aquarian friends who are very much social justicers. Because in your vocation is the Avenger, essentially the social justice archetype. Any archetype can be involved with social justice, obviously. But this is really specific in terms of your life purpose calling. The shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. I don't know. On planet Earth, no, that's never happened, except every day since Jump. Light attributes, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And I don't think it's an or, it's probably a both and. Both for society and for yourself, for the people that you love, for your tribes, or maybe just humanity in general, or for the animals, right? That's a general read. Only you're going to know that, at least from these first three cards. So that's the 8th chakra. Now let's look at the next 4 chakras: the crown, the third eye, the throat, and the heart. 8th chakra is mystical power. We're never going to understand it fully while we're in bodies. It's a mystery. But spiritual power, mental power, willpower, choices and decisions, and emotional power, that we can be aware of. That's the alchemical laboratory. Let's find out. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, if you think of these 3 levels as 3 entities making up your life purpose, then you can really see how the energy fields can blend together and where they don't, and where your leverage is. So let's say, as I call upon my goddesses of air, the sign of Aquarius, powers of the East and the mind and thought, which seems very much in this reading. Please. Oh, did we have a flipper? I saw the Pisces card flip over, and I don't do flippers unless they are dolphins on TV, because where would I keep them in my house? My goddesses of air, please. Aquarius and powers of the East. Heart, third eye crown for the Aquarian with a God archetype. Oh, and it's either a neighbor backing. Do you hear that? That's either a neighbor backing up or it's a garbage truck. I can't tell because they're exactly the same. Neighbor backing up, yay. Please, one more time. What is going on here? They've got the God archetype in their work. First level of power, literal level of power, their work in the world, their survival intuition. What's going on inside of them? Heart, third eye. Crown. Okay, the Ace of Blades, the Ace of Swords in this deck. The Sibyl, the Pythia, the Oracle of Delphi in Greece. Definitely a new thought coming in. Definitely maybe a whole new thought system, a truth coming into you that might be very enlightening on the inner. This is definitely a third eye dynamic. Oh, I never thought of that before. Like a download, but a mental download. One pointing you, I believe, towards benevolent and compassion. Recognizing the eternal force, that can be a moment of fifth dimensional vision rather than the perception of separation, right? Where you really see it, but you see it in your work world. Are you a god in your work world? That's got a lot of power in it, if so. So for that would only, see, that's why, like, I'm not Wiccan, but I adopt the Wiccan Read, 8 words the Wiccan Read fulfill, and ye harm none, do what you will. Not because I'm a nice guy, got Mal, but because I understand unity consciousness. There's only one of us down here, so what I do to you, I do to myself. Game-changing truth, but it's always been that way. All right, here we go. In their career, my beloved goddesses, the Advocate in the 8th, what's going on for them? Heart, third eye crown. 9 of Flames, 9 of Wands, granted can be a wounded warrior. Energy, conserving your energy to make it to the 10 to complete the cycle of fire. Here we have a gypsy woman. I mean, literally, that's what's written in the book. The Wanderer. Now, not all who wander are lost, but right over the hill, you see that? You can't tell if it's a rising or a setting sun. So she's like, all right, my destiny, I'm being called over there. I'm being pulled in that direction. I'm going to wander and find my 10th flame here to complete the cycle of something that you want, that you desire. And that's why I do feel like with this Advocate, this might be speaking up, like you wanting to speak up, you wanting to speak for those who do not have voices, who are not heard, as a sense of really something very fulfilling for you, but element of fire, throat chakra. This is about speaking. This is about putting it out there, but you might be a little, well, hopefully finessed. I mean, you know, cancel culture. We're on all sides, right? Right? Comedians, politicians, like people are getting canceled left, right, and center. Like social media. So, you know, maybe there is a guardedness there. And maybe some clear boundaries there to do this in a healthy way, right? Instead of just burning down the village, committing to causes for personal gain or embracing negative causes, particularly with this violence card in the shadow of the Avenger. That might be some stuff you're dealing with here. So let's have a look, please, my goddesses. The Avenger archetype in their 8th chakra, in their vocation, their spiritual calling. What's that like? Heart, third eye crown for the Aquarians. 2 aces. You got the Ace of Pentacles. There is something brand new coming in here. Now, aces on the internal heart, third eye crown are really more about wisdom and potentials of wisdom. And I think what's going on in your 8th chakra vocation and your physical lower 3 chakras work world, we'll get there, we are really looking at a new beginning, but a very, very strong nugget of wisdom has been gained here. Now, keep in mind, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on the behalf of society and or oneself. Now, righteousness is a weird word. It's got a lot of baggage on it. That's not so great. But it is the opposite of abuse. Right use, abuse, righteousness, abusiveness. That's what we're looking at here. So instead of abusing the soul power of the Avenger, you know, the hero archetype is different than the Avenger archetype. We call lots of people heroes, but most of them are Avengers or rescuers, right? But the hero is a personal path thing, but that doesn't mean you can't claim the hero's journey for yourself on this, particularly if you're stepping up and speaking up from others. There is something brand new, like the vibe I'm getting on this card is this solid nugget of wisdom, like all right, I'll use the eggcorn metaphor. Within every eggcorn is the DNA, if you want to go there, of an eggcorn. It's in potential, right? It's all in there, but it's the beginning of the cycle. You got to plant the seed and grow it, and around here we've got oak trees all over the place. You know, I'm pulling them out of my garden all the time because we got plenty here. But it's that thing. It could be cracked under your heel. You could feed it to a squirrel. You do have choice in this, but there's a deeper wisdom I think that you're getting here that is very, I don't like using the word fundamental, but foundational, that you can really build upon this. Let's dig in. Let's see what's going on. The lower three chakras now for your work, career, vocation. Lower three chakras are all about relationships. Root chakra, tribal relationships. The human tribe, your genetic tribes, plural, right? Your gender tribe, your political tribe, your friends, your family, what you do for a living, right? Your work, career, vocation. Your second chakra, one-on-one dynamics, umbilical, like think out of the navel and umbilical cord, which is also your relationship to money as well as with other people. And we don't have court cards here on the inner, which is good. Let's see if any show up on the outer. And the solar plexus, your relationship to yourself, self-esteem, your gut, your intuition, your honor code, your boundaries, what you will and will not do. And I think for the God archetype, the Advocate, and the Avenger, considering the shadow sides are almost despotic, there's a good word, like despots, you might want to have a look at this. Let's find out. Please take a nice deep breath. Okay. All right. That felt really interesting as I call upon my gods of air, the sign of Aquarius, and the powers of the East. Please, 3 cards in clarity for the Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on in their lower 3 chakras? From the outside, looking in at them horizontally. Them from the inside looking out at something horizontally, maybe both of those things for the Aquarian in their work, career, vocation, in their work. 8th chakra, the God archetype. Inner heart, third eye crown, the Sibyl, the Oracle of Delphi with the Sun. You literally got a Sun, S-U-N, God here. This is probably about your radiance. Now, I will say, as powerful and as passionate as Apollo was, a little distant. The golden child, you know, he didn't have the best love life. His lovers did not last long because, you know, he was the god of healing and the god of the arts and the god of the sun, not the one who drove it across the sky. By the way, that's Helios. Just, you know, get your Titans and your Olympians accurate, right? But also the bringer of plagues. I mean, a god who you did not want to get on his wrong side. Oh, ask Cassandra, The Fall of Troy, The Trojan War. Great book by Marion Zimmer Bradley, Firebrand. She was one of his priestesses, a true visionary. And she was virgin, raised to do that, right? Within part of the royal family, given to the god Apollo. And he busted a move at her, and she said, "No, I'm your virgin princess, please, I don't want to do this." And because she wouldn't give up the goods, he cursed her with what is called the curse of Cassandra. I love this. I know so many people who have this, that you will prophesy, you will see total truth, but no one will believe you until it's too late. The Trojan War. Yeah, maybe she should have given it up. I don't know, to each their own, right? But this does speak of your happiness. This does speak of benevolence. This does not feel like the shadow despotism and cruelty, but benevolence and compassion, because chances are if you're watching my channel, and this isn't any shade on anybody else's channel, you're moving into 5th dimensional unity consciousness, which has always been true. But we've been in 3rd and 4th dimensional consciousness, which is all about the illusion of separation. So in the 3D here, your work looks pretty damn radiant. And certainly if that is not a sense of happiness with your work in the world, there are definitely new ideas, and I would say divine ideas, downloading into you with that Sybil. Because, by the way, the Oracle of Delphi and Apollo. I mean, come on, the god of prophecy and a prophetess, priestess of prophecy. Huffing ethylene gas out of a crack in the wall. Just don't do it during dark moon. Does anybody know why? The Oracle of Delphi should never prophesy during a dark moon. In the Oracle of Delphi. I do. Let's look. My gods, that is so lit, literally. What's going on here with this advocate archetype in their career with the wanderer, the 9 of flames? It does feel enjoyable. What's going on in their career? Root, sacrum, solar plexus. This is where the meh shows up, the 4 of Cups. You might be a little tired emotionally. I wouldn't say dry with the 4 of Cups, but if there's any kind of like bullshit gossip going on in your career, maybe industry-wide gossip, maybe not between actual literal people, this can leave you feeling a little dissatisfied. This is Psyche of the myth of Eros and Psyche, her sisters essentially talking her into do something that she really, well, she has to do to complete the myth, but revealing something that is such a horrible game changer, leading her to the 5 of Cups, which I'm sure you're aware of what 5 of Cups feels like. So, can you avoid the 5 of Cups on this? Maybe, but it has to do with, you being inspired to put your compassion into action, and that might very well be compassion for yourself, to allow your inner world to wander a little bit about where is my power as an advocate best used for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? Because it's advocacy that lights you up. And I have to say, every Aquarian sun sign that I know, and I've dated a ton, have that. But for some of them, they advocate for medical things, for technological things, but a lot of them are animal rescuers too. So I'm going to say that, right? Like they will picket, they will protest. So I think you're getting the vibe there, and why wouldn't there be something not so hot emotionally going on in the physical world to drive you to say, well, what's over that next hill? What's over that next hill? Interesting. All right, in their career, the beloved Avenger archetype. Give me some Hawkeye. I hear Hugh Jackman has a huge Ackman. Please, my God, since we're talking heroes here, the Avenger archetype in the 8th chakra of their calling with the Ace of Pentacles, right? Nuqua, Japanese goddess, I believe. Right? No, that looks like she's doing Tai Chi. She might be Chinese. I have to look it up. Please don't cancel me over that. My memory is with that stuff. Not Greek myth, though. So please, what's this look like, lower 3 chakras in their vocation? The video didn't pause. I'm just saying that the 4 of Cups here leads to the 5 of Cups here in your vocation. There is definitely something emotionally upsetting that is hitting you in terms of your spiritual calling as an Avenger. Now, clarifying, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. So there has been an injustice here that has impacted you emotionally. Maybe it's not directly at you. My God, pick one, right? Well, pick an injustice on the planet, right? What's the one that has the most, oh, I feel like I could do something about this. There's potential here for me to right the balance, the scales of justice, right the balance on this. But there's no question it is an emotionally upsetting thing, which is why maybe in your career you're like, well, yeah, but there's got to be something better than this. Name the musical. Little cheating Rivera there, Cheetah Rivera vibe. Oh, how sweet. Charity. Okay, let's get your mantras on this, because these last 3 cards usually solidify the 3 and unify the 3. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my ascended masters, the ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, and vocation in this timeless read, whenever they are watching this. What are the 3 perfect healing mantras for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation, their work? The God archetype in the 8th, Ace of Blades, the Pythia, right? The Oracle of Delphi on the inner, and the Sun on the outer. What's their mantra there? Cultivating courage. In any given moment, I always know exactly what to do. And isn't that just so godly of you? Gods don't use magic. Gods create. Okay? It's just a different vibe, right? It's definitely your ability here to step up in the physical world is here, but you have to cultivate it. In any given moment, I always know exactly what to do. Now let's look at that word cultivation. What do you cultivate? Seeds, right? You cultivate things so that they grow. So with the Sun card here, feels like a lot of success, a lot of health that now really get, it's okay for me to do this, but little by little by little. Again, they're aces, they're not 10s on the inner here. Cultivating courage. In any given moment, I always know exactly what to do. Work. Career. My gods, wrong pantheon. Ascended Masters, I know there's a lot of crossover. Please, the Advocate in their career with the 9 of Flames, the Wanderer on the inner, 4 of Cups on the outer, that disappointment, maybe even disillusionment. What's going on there in their career, their perfect healing mantra? Balancing the brain, the mantra that wouldn't go away. I think the majority of the readings in this series have had this, which I think speaks of the collective of humanity in general. Balancing the brain, I can be and do all at once. Left brain, right brain, masculine, feminine, yin, yang. This is certainly about mindfulness, about being in the present moment, right? So I'm going to tell you, this 4 of Cups that you're going through obviously is temporary. That is something that you just have to kind of keep moving forward. It's okay to have clear boundaries, but watch your defensiveness. There's a difference between having a healthy boundary and being defensive here. Particularly if you are bored, if you are meh. You probably need to take a break, more being than doing. But that's the thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to be for an hour in meditation, and then for the next 23 hours I'm going to be doing, right? It's like, no, you can do both at the same time. Be here now. Follow your guidance. The divine feminine in you is the intuition. The divine masculine is the action, right? So it's like a waltz. It's that back and forth. And to unify them here as one, as an advocate, I think is interesting. I think in terms of creative intuition, survival intuition, creative intuition, visionary intuition, this is something worth taking the time to do. So what is your mindfulness practice? Because it's not just about meditating all day long, and it's also not just about running around like a chicken with a head cut off. Not that Aquarians do that, because you guys are busy usually. But being able to really have that unity within you, a balance of the masculine and feminine, which I would think certainly would put your action into compassion. So open your heart and act, but make sure it's in balance with the mind, right? It's not coming from an illegal place or something similar, a harmful place, which we see in the shadow of any archetype. Their career, the Avenger. Oh, Tony Stark alert. Robert Downey Jr., am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Please, my Ascended Masters, last card down, the Avenger in their calling, their vocation, Ace of Pentacles, like a real feeling of, yeah, I think I can do this. This feels good. But with that 5 of Cups on the outer, perhaps that emotional situation, that emotional upset, something being revealed, usually moves them from that meh to, oh my God. But that really inspires them and moves them in the direction of this balancing the scales of justice. What's their perfect healing mantra for their vocation? Embracing worthiness. I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. Now you'd say, what does that have to do with being an Avenger? Well, how many, let's put it in the terms of heroes, how many heroes feel like they're villains at times, right? It's like every hero had to walk the path of the villain for a little bit. And that's really what we're looking at here with resorting to violence in the name of a cause, right? Being so taken over by the anger and rage in the collective as well as within oneself. And I do feel like there is a lot of emotional upset in this, and yet that Ace of Pentacles saying, I don't know, I'm getting something out of this in terms of my calling. To feel worthiness filling every cell of your body is really about you embracing your divine nature in your work, your God nature. To say that I am a divine force, we all are, but not everybody knows that. And so let me know that. Let me feel that potential. Now, the good thing about this is with this Ace of Pentacles here, this is more of a solid, eternal power within you, right? It's a nugget, it's an acorn, it's a seed that you can absolutely develop and let grow, but you have to get your worthiness. I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. And this mantra is absolutely wonderful for healing the cell tissue of the body as well as physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So if you read these mantras, there are two ways to do this. That in your work, you're cultivating courage. In your career, you're balancing the brain. And in your vocation, you're embracing the worthiness. But if you reverse directions and do the mantra, the guidance is, the mantra is, I feel worthiness filling every cell in my body, and it feels amazing. And I can be and do all at once. And in any given moment, I always know exactly what to do. Right? It's like, there it is. And the emotional upset part of this, deal with that. Deal with that within yourself. Alchemize the lead to gold, the pain to peace, the fear to love, the shadow to light before taking action here. Because with a God advocate Avenger or an Avenger advocate God, which feels very much like Apollo, by the way, certainly the emotional part of this might be a little wonky here and there, but a necessary part of bringing this into alignment. Now, talk about where's your leverage. I'm really going to say, and this is not something that usually goes this way, your leverage, I really feel like, is in your physical work in the world, right? That God archetype, that new idea coming in, radiating out of you, healthy, balanced, and in any given moment, you'll know exactly what to do, feet on the ground, while you balance your career and really experience your own divine worthiness in your vocation. Let me put it for you in a blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the pantheons of the divine for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, in their work, career, vocation. May they be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation. That in their work they become the benevolent and more benevolent and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within themselves and others, that we are all one. This might be a new way of seeing that, definitely a download, maybe even a piece of vision rather than just an idea that lights them up, that brings them success, that brings them that health, that light, that radiance. Because in any given moment, they always know exactly what to do in their career, that they may be inspired to put their compassion into action, taking the wanderer journey in their career, maybe wanting to just get over that next hill to get something completed here because emotionally they're feeling 4 cups, a little meh, or, I mean, worst case scenario, really miserable, but they can be and do all at once, that they can make this decision every step as they go, little bit by little bit. I've got feline distraction over here. Milky, get your hands out of the water. Parenthood, what are you going to do? Because they can be and do all at once, balancing the brain, that they don't have to worry so much about this, just be in the present moment. They always know exactly what to do in the present moment, be and do at the same time, that in their vocation, that they can really highlight their desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of a cause, and most likely their own selves, which has a great sense of initial stability, real wisdom in there, like that solidity of the eternal within them that does not change but has such potential to manifest itself in so many ways as the result of something emotionally upsetting that has been revealed to them in the physical world, and so that they really take the time to align with that divinity within themselves, embracing their own worthiness, so that they feel worthiness filling every cell of their bodies, and so it will feel so amazing, which feels like it's radiating out here with that sun card, the Apollo, so that they may be healers and be healed, that they may grow, evolve, fulfill their life purpose in their work, career, vocation, and assisting everyone on planet Earth, particularly those whose voices are not heard or who have none. And that as they do that, we all benefit. The whole planet rises up with that God vibe, power moving through them in the world for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So would it be. And so it is. That's pretty powerful. But look, I'm going to tell you, work, career, vocation reads always have a grain of sand that you have to put into the belly of the oyster to create a pearl. It's just how it works. Everything in this world is about learning, healing, growing, and evolving. And plus, we get dark chocolate with sea salt. Oh my God. And Netflix. And Trixie and Katya, and a lot of other good things along the way that make it worth it. So did you like the video? Please like it. Do you want more of me? Please subscribe. You feel like commenting? Please do. What's going on here for you? How are you an Avenger advocate God, or a God advocate Avenger, servicing this world and your life purpose? And if you'd like to book me for a private read to go deeper, you know how to do that. Link in the description box. You want to read my book, Words of Grace, which was inspired by the destruction of my career a bunch of years ago. Please check it out. A lot of people love the book, and the prayers in there are very, very helpful. Otherwise, my beloved Aquariums, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed in your work, career, vocation, October, November, whenever you are watching this. Hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.